Assalamu alaikum everyone. So today we are going to be looking at the last topic of the objective chapter in unit 1. Now we are going to talking about the influence of ethics on business objectives and activities. It's a very smart topic, but yeah, it comes a lot in past papers. You can see a 5 mark question and even an 8 mark question about this such topic. So it's a really interesting topic about how ethics affect the business objectives and activities. Now ethics are generally considered like how ethics affect are similar to the CSR thing, you can say somewhat, but we were looking at the difference, what basically the points behind this are, what is the content, what is the core CIE content of this point, of this particular topic. So let's see. Ethical code of conduct is a document detailing a company's retailer rules and guidelines on staff behavior that must be followed by all employees. Now, sometimes a passer might ask a 2 mark question of what is ethical code of conduct. So it's basically a document detailing a company's rules and guidelines on staff behavior that must be followed by all employees. This is the basic definition that I have written down. Good enough for 2 marks, I believe. Now, ethics can be defined as the moral principles that guide the way a business behaves and allow them to distinguish between right and wrong and then make the right decision. An action might be classified as legal but may be ethically wrong. So that's about ethics, what ethics basically are. Ethics are just some moral principles that guide a business to like allow a business to distinguish between right and wrong. It's not like something may be illegal and it's right, or it could be even vice versa, that something is legal but it's still not right to do that. Maybe like the basic example you can give is that in some countries there is not such legal restrictions on child labor, like the law is very small low, so you can easily get away with that. You can bribe them, and even though that's not technically illegal, completely illegal in some countries, but still ethically that's not right. So businesses should avoid that. So if a business is ethical, they will try to avoid such conditions. And if they have like policy, some businesses are like that, they might say, okay, we don't do child labor, but they might do child labor in some other countries where the if I'm talking like talking about multinationals. So in most of the countries they might say, okay, we are not using child labor, but they might use child labor in some countries where it's not illegal to do that. And even though it's ethically wrong, it's legally not wrong, it's legally correct. So it's illegal, it is not illegal, it is legal, so they do that. So that's not something an ethical business will do. So that's how ethics influence your, it's not just child labor, it's even in some engaging in some suppliers that are not too good, that are not ISO verified, or those, or getting yourself involved with drugs, or even in weaponry. Some countries, as I said earlier, it's not countries, it varies country to country, but sometimes there are some things which are not technically illegal, but they are still wrong, so you should avoid that. So let's look at some examples that I provided about what how ethics really is, what an ethical business does. An ethical business will not have profit maximization as its objectives at all. Now, why is that? This is one of the most important point, that how ethics influence business activities and objectives. It's like ethics are somewhat, you can say, similar to CSR, as I said earlier, that CSR is the opposite of profit maximization. So ethical business will is a socially responsible business. They know the difference between right and wrong, and they try to make the right decision. Profit maximization is not the right decision, because you are exploiting your customers with high price. There's low quality with cheaper suppliers, and you might even be using fossil fuels as an energy source, which causes environmental damage. Employees might not be paid properly. There might be the minimum wage set by government is being paid instead of proper generous wages on the basis of their hard work. That's not something an ethical business will do. That's something an profit motivated business will do. So an ethical business will try to avoid all this stuff, even though it will raise the cost of the business, but it's fine, because that's the right thing that they do. Even if it raises the cost of the business, but still overall it will benefit the business ultimately in the end, because they're doing the right thing. So if you don't do the right thing, that it's gonna backfire one way or another. An ethical business also pays its suppliers on time and prevents from exploiting them with late or slow invoice payments. So if you are profit motivated, you might try to delay the payment of invoice, delay payment, or make very slow payments, because just so that you can have a better cash flow, you are annoying your supplier. So that's not something an ethical business will do. It also prevents a business on low cost of production method in country with few regulations like child labor, bribery, lax pollution laws, etc. As we discussed earlier about this, all these before. Ethics encourage a business to have CSR objective, recycling, employee welfare, and sustainable production. So that's the basic influence of ethics on business objectives and activities, that they try to encourage a business to have CSR objective, they encourage recycling, they encourage employee welfare, they encourage sustainable production, and also customers are not exploited with high prices. Customers should also be treated careful, very generously. The employee should be trained to you know talk very talk better, talk in a better proper manner with customers. So everything should be ethical. It shouldn't be like you're just looking at the legal and illegal. Okay, it's not illegal, so we can do that. No, you have to look at the right and the wrong, and then make the right decision. So that's all about ethics, making the right choice. So thanks for watching. Allah Hafiz.